this is Michael from Barista Next Door, and I would like to welcome you to my new series, Basic Latte Art Tutorial. In these videos I'm going to take you through the process of making latte art step by step, and you'll learn every single step that is necessary to create some latte art. First of all, we start with the equipment that is necessary to make latte art. Let's just jump right into it. The first thing you want to consider is what kind of coffee to use. Obviously, the best result you'll get with an espresso that has a nice crema on it. The crema is just like the canvas for your art, you know. The nicer the crema, the better art you'll get out of it. And for that, you want to consider getting an espresso machine that produces some crema and just makes a nice espresso that you can use for your latte art. I personally would not recommend getting a lever machine like this when you're just starting out, because with this machine you have to control a lot of the features by yourself manually, and if you don't know what you're doing, it will be difficult to get consistent coffee quality out of that, and to just make some espressos that make it nice and easy for you to work with. So if you get yourself an espresso machine, I'd recommend starting out with a basic machine that, well, you know, has a pump in it that regulates pressure for you, so you only have to fill up the group head, tamp it, and then put the group head in and press a button, and then the machine does the rest, like extracts the coffee for you. And there are even some espresso machines where you put some coffee beans in at the top, then the machine will grind the coffee for you, tamp it, and then extract it. That makes it even easier. So it really is your choice what kind of espresso machine you want to get and how much automation you want to get with your espresso machine. On the other side, you can also make latte art with coffee that is not out of a traditional espresso machine and that does not have crema on it. For example, you could use a mocha pot if you have one to make your latte art. Now, the coffee with the mocha pot does not have crema on it, but that doesn't really matter, because if you've properly frothed your milk and you have some nice silky milk that is great for latte art, then you can even pour some latte art with coffee that comes out of a mocha pot. Same thing goes for instant coffee. If you're into instant coffee, or you have no other choice, and that's the only way you have to make coffee, then that's not a problem at all. You can make some latte art with that as well. Same thing applies as with the mocha. You can just, make your coffee. It will not have crema on it, but that doesn't matter as long as your milk is great. As long as your milk is perfectly frothed and is silky and good to go, then you can still achieve latte art. It will just not be as nice as with an espresso shot that has crema on it. If you've decided to use an espresso machine for your latte art, there will be one other piece of equipment that you need, and this is a grinder. The reason why you should have a grinder at home is because if you freshly grind your coffee before you use it, you get a much nicer crema out of it. It will be a lot tastier, because if you have pre-ground coffee, it will have already lost a lot of its flavors. It will have gone stale, and it will just not produce such a nice espresso as if you would have ground the coffee just right before you use it. That said, there are different options to consider when you're getting a grinder. Obviously, the easiest result to start out with, or the easiest grinder to start out with, is one that is electric and has a burr grinder, so it has like 2 discs in it that grind the coffee. And the reason why you want to get one of those for your espressos is because it has a very consistent way of grinding, and you'll get consistent grinds out of it that will make it easy to adjust to your espresso machine and to get the consistency that you want. That said, obviously an electric one just does the work for you and makes it nice and easy, and also fast to grind your espresso or to grind your coffee. But if you really want to do everything manual, or you just don't have the money for an electric grinder, you could also get one of these grinders that is like just a hand grinder that has some burr discs in it as well. So if you're grinding your espresso, you'll also get some nice consistent grinds out of this as well. And obviously it is cheap. One of the most important things you have to consider when making latte art is the way you want to froth your milk. The reason why it is so important is because You only get some awesome latte art out of it when you have some 100% silky, nicely frothed milk that is just consistent within itself and makes it easy to pour the latte art. I personally think if you want to be professional with this and want to get some great results, you should use the steam wand of an espresso machine, like this little thing here. There really is no way around the quality that you get out of this, and that's just the best way to do it. So if you want to make some great latte art, then really there's no way around getting an espresso machine. If you are on a budget, however, you could also use a little milk frother like this. This is pretty cheap and easy to get, and the only thing you have to do is you heat your milk before you use it, and once the milk has the desired temperature, you can just froth it with this. Now, for me, I think it's an alright way to use, like an alright method to steam your milk, but it just doesn't get me the same quality or result as a steam wand of an espresso machine. When you're heating your milk, you'll obviously need some kind of vessel or whatever to heat that milk in. And for that, we're using one of these little milk jugs here. They come in many different sizes, many different styles or whatever. But when you're just starting out, you can go to your local coffee equipment supplier and see what they have in stock and probably get the smallest size if you're just starting out with making 1 cup of coffee, because when you're only making 1 cup of coffee, you don't want to get a jug that is like this size, and it will just not be ideal for frothing the milk. However, when you start out making more coffees at once, then you may want to consider getting a bigger jug, and that will give you the opportunity to just make more than 1 coffee at the same time. Lastly, you'll also need some sort of cup to put your coffee in and then pour your milk over when you're doing a latte art. I personally like to use these glass cups, simply because you don't only get to have a look at the latte art, but you can also appreciate the whole other view of the coffee while it sits in there. Also, the cup doesn't get any warm on the outside or whatever, just because it's a double wall glass, and the coffee stays warm within and you can still touch it and not burn your fingers, so that's pretty great. But other than that, you can really use any kind of cup, and there's no quality difference between the cups or whatever, so every cup is fine for pouring a latte art. So to summarize it, we'll need some kind of way to make our coffee. We could achieve that with an espresso machine or with a mocha pot, or you could even go instant or any other way of making coffee, as long as you have some coffee there. Next on, if you use an espresso machine, you'll need some kind of grinder, to just freshly grind your coffee that you will use with your espresso machine. And then we will need some way to steam our milk. An espresso machine obviously does the best job for that, but if you're on a budget, it will be fine to get one of these milk frothers as well. And lastly, we'll just need a cup to pour the coffee in and then pour our latte art over it. And that really is all the equipment we need. So it's pretty straightforward and easy. And now let's go on to the next steps of making latte art.